Welcome viewers to the American Marketing Association of New York's CMO series, Beyond Changing Roles. I'm Lori Johnson, the Executive Programs Board Chairperson and producer of the CMO series. I'm delighted today to welcome Jim Walsh, Senior Vice President of Growth Marketing at Cisco, as our special guest today. Walsh and his team are responsible for strengthening Cisco's brand and increasing demand for Cisco solutions by delivering business and IT outcomes to enable customers' digital transformation. Within growth marketing, Jim also leads the global sales segments and industries team, who is responsible for delivering a consistent sales strategy across all segments and geographies. With more than 20 years of sales leadership experience, his deep understanding of both customers' business needs and Cisco's technologies has been key to his success. His teams consistently deliver their objectives with a high degree of innovation and customer satisfaction. Walsh has a Bachelor of Science degree in Finance from Villanova University and an MBA degree from Fordham University. He's based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Please join me in welcoming Jim.
Thank you, Lori, for that generous introduction. It is great to be here today.
So nice to have you, Jim. You know, right now, marketing leaders have a special once-in-a-career opportunity to truly transform marketing in their organizations. The focus for performance in marketing is or has completely shifted from advertising to revenue generation. To make this opportunity all it can be, what should be the imperative area of focus in determining future strategies?
You know, it's funny that you should say that, Lori, because that's exactly what our CEO, Chuck Robbins, asked me when he asked me to take on this role of growth marketing. Jim, how do we know what kind of demand that we're generating with our marketing? And that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish. Now, the nice thing that I see is the tools are finally here to really allow us to do that, especially when you talk about digital marketing. If you think about it, you're able to measure exactly what's resonating with your customers. You're able to measure what are the things that they are looking at, what are the things that they're not looking at, what are the things that they're looking at on competitive sites. And what we found is to really be successful and integrate with a customer, it's all about them, right? Sounds obvious, but you need to start with what is it they're trying to achieve, right? What is that outcome? So it shows that you understand them, you're empathetic to what they're doing, and then explain how your solution or your technology helps them actually achieve that outcome. And we're seeing that those are the things that people are resonating with people. Those are the things that are being interacted with. From a business perspective, it also allows us to go back to our business units and the people that are producing our content and be able to show them which content is resonating and which isn't, which allows us to be very efficient, right? Let's not produce the content that people aren't looking at. Let's do more of the content that people are looking at. And lo and behold, what we're finding is if you're able to educate a customer on how your stuff actually helps them solve their challenge, those that are doing the education are actually getting the sales. So it is a transformation, and the digital makes that all possible, and it makes it very clear. You know which of your campaigns are resonating by the response rates you're getting. You know what of your content is resonating. So it's really a very closed loop, instant feedback process. Now, customers do expect a lot more in this environment. You need to know them. They're expecting that they know that you know things about them, and they're expecting as a result that you're customizing your offers for them, right? And so this is the new world that we find ourselves in. And obviously this whole situation we're going through with coronavirus has put gas on that digital transformation fire. So we are really doubling down on our insight and analytics in the digital world as the way to really reach our customers in this new normal.
So that makes it very clear that marketing's role is really being refined and sharpened in focus, and that interaction with customers is very efficient and very effective, and even has a consultative aspect to it, so that it's bringing true value at that time of interaction, which also, of course, is going to increase Cisco's value to customers because they regard their relationship with you in one in which they can have good and positive takeaways for their own success. Thank you for that, Jim. So As the first person at Cisco to lead in the role of growth marketing, what was the area in which you first focused so you and your team could succeed, and so that the vision for the company could be accomplished as it relates to marketing?
Yeah, so what's really interesting is, the idea of growth marketing. What growth marketing is, it is the closed loop process. It is a sales and marketing integration. And we actually, because I had the sales segment strategy, we realized that the way customers view our brand is it is one continuous motion. It's very hard to see where does the marketing strategy end and where's the sales strategy begin. As a matter of fact, that's not how the customers see it. And so basically we're integrating the sales strategy and the marketing strategy into one continuous strategy. And that's what growth marketing is. It's the integration of those two things. And what that allows us to do is to make sure that, as our salespeople are out, selling to the customers and what other channels the customers might choose to interact, that we know what's going on and it is a continuous loop. So we're giving the insight and analytics that we're getting from what our customers are doing online. We're making sure that our sales folks have them as well. We're making sure that our sales folks, the messaging they're out there to the target customers with is the same messaging that the customer's going to get if they're interacting with us on any of our channels as well. And so it's really this idea of being very consistent in message and making sure that everybody's on the same page. And what customers expect is they expect that you know them. They expect that you know what they did. And so they're looking for that, hey, you should know me. And as a result, you should be offering me something custom based on my needs. That's all. It's all driven by customers' expectations, those heightened expectations today, and realistically so, right? And we have to basically raise our game to be able to do that. That's what that transformation is about, and that's where we're seeing such amazing success right now in the market.
It's so exciting to see technologies actually now really impact how business performs. I love that that's happening now. One of the things that I've said over many years is that marketing's job is to precede sales, and really what you're saying now is really marketing's job is to walk with sales. And I think that's really going to make all the difference and help. Thank you so much for that insight. Jim, another question. Every organization wants to accelerate their digital transformation that you've been talking about, especially now. So how to do it? The need for this digitization has never been clearer. What's your advice for CMOs and others who lead marketing? They're not all CMOs. Some of them are carrying multiple roles as you are now. What will help them successfully and efficiently implement new strategies?
Yeah, well, that's really interesting, Lori. It was very strange. I've been so fortunate to have this role, but in such a unique position because prior to having this role, I had never spent a day in marketing. I had always been in the sales organization. And I think it actually gave me a very unique perspective. And so the first thing I did is I wanted to understand, from a sales perspective, what did marketing have? What did they have that could actually benefit the sales teams and our business units? And we were sitting on a treasure trove of information that I would have loved to have had when I was running the sales organization. And so coming in from that perspective, it was really about, okay, I see now how these dots connect. I can see how we're going to have this closed loop process. And it really was getting the marketing team to understand, look at what you have, but we have to truly understand our stakeholder. So our stakeholders are our customers, our partners, the sales teams, and our business units. And so to understand, just like a salesperson would understand what a customer is trying to accomplish, we challenged ourselves to really understand what those stakeholders are trying to accomplish. Then we started meeting with them regularly and talking to them in their terms, not marketing terms, but their terms. And I think that's very, very important, that by showing that you're speaking the language that they speak, they understand now the value that you can bring to them. And so we've been doing that. And quite frankly, we also are only talking to them about the things that are relevant to them. And anything else we're either not talking about, or in many cases, we're just not doing. because I've changed our insight and analytics group to be named actionable insight and analytics, because there's no point in giving someone this information if they're not doing anything with it. And so I want to make sure that the data that we're giving to our stakeholders is completely actionable, that we have that interlock with those stakeholders. I'm going to give you this information. It's valuable information. You're going to do this with it. And therefore, we're going to actually change the outcome we would have gotten had we not had that information. So working on what I call connecting the dots, or these closed loop processes with our stakeholders, has been where we're really unlocking the magic. And I think that was kind of the missing element. And that's why growth marketing brought that to life, because it does require that a sales view of marketing and a business unit view of marketing, and together, connecting those dots is where the magic happens.
Thank you, Jim, for that. I can see I love that you mentioned that you're really having sessions with your customers to understand, have conversations with them in their language and understand where they're coming from. It's, sort of going back to basics, but it's also bringing in the human need to communicate, to understand one another, and then to also take that obviously to the business performance and to digital and analytics.
Yeah, Lori,
Thank you so much for that.
When you think about what used to happen, and I talk to the sales folks, right, and say, hey, how is marketing doing? The way they judged marketing was, I didn't see a commercial on TV. You guys aren't doing a good job. Okay. So think about coming at it from that perspective. So the idea is, okay, but let us show you what we're actually doing for you in your terms. And let me show you what your customers have been doing online. Let me show you what are the things that they're looking at. Let me show you which of your customers are actually looking at which products, and which of your customers are doing these things, looking at competitors' products. And boy, you've got this big sale pending. Do you know that customer is about to buy something from somebody else? Having that information is gold for the sales teams. And quite frankly, we were sitting on that information in marketing, and we didn't have a process to share it with the sales team. So those are the things we went after, and we're changing the perception of what is the value that marketing really brings. And I know that in every organization, that's watching this broadcast, there is that gold, and getting that gold to those stakeholders. That's also where we found that as we do that, we're getting a lot more funding than we did, because people now understand, wow, that is valuable to what I'm trying to accomplish, because we're all always in a competition for funds. And I like to say to the team, we have to take the mystery out of marketing, because if there's mystery, there's not a lot of funding. But when people are very clear on what they're getting from marketing, that's when the funding flows from the stakeholders. And that's when you're being successful.
Wonderful information, and just what CMOs need to adopt in this style and what they need to hear. Thank you for that. So to round this out, a big part of Cisco's go-to-market strategy is through your channel partners. I know you have very, very strong relationships with them. How do you work with them to help them market and extend your reach and their success?
The great thing about what we're going through right now as an industry is we're all going through it together. 90% of our sales actually come through our partners. So about a big impact and one of our most important stakeholders, it's clearly our partner and our channel. And, what we're trying to do is really help on that journey by what I like to say is kind of teaching partners or helping partners fish rather than fishing for them. We want to help them fish. And that's, we've got a platform called Marketing Velocity, which is an award-winning platform. It's really pretty unique in the industry. And the whole idea is to have everything there that a partner needs for them to actually get even stronger at marketing. Whether it's training, whether we have activation there, whether we have joint marketing funds in there, all the things that we need, the content to activate those campaigns. So we really have a one-stop shop for our partners. The other thing that we've done, which really I think is helpful, is we have been able to rate our partners in terms of their marketing acumen in relation to other partners. And what we find out is when we sit down and have those conversations and talk about, where you're doing really well, where someone else is doing well, what campaigns are working, what campaigns aren't. It's amazingly valuable insight. Sometimes the conversations are a little difficult, but in the end, our partners are in business to make money and make a difference. And they love having that honest conversation about where they stand, what should they be working on, and then of course we've tied, how we invest in our partners to that performance. So there's also an incentive. So we want to make sure that we're all getting better together, because no one has all of this figured out. It's a constantly evolving journey, and we need to bring our partners on that journey with us. And so, that's really what marketing velocity is all about. And it's the partners, we're getting really, really positive feedback for what we're doing, which ultimately the customer tells you how you're doing, right? And so we feel really good about where we are on that journey.
It sounds like an amazing way to connect with your partners and, of course, your mutual customers. It reminds me of Toyota's Kaizen. Velocities is to Cisco what Kaizen was to Toyota, really transforming the way that organizations, channels function within a huge organization and with their partners externally. So thank you, Jim, so much for this discussion today. It was extremely insightful. I think you provided some very actionable information for CMOs and other heads of marketing, and also great food for thought as we all continue through these upcoming months and years to come in continuing to transform our organizations and do things in a new way. We look forward to improved success, quality, and of course, growth outcomes. Thank you so much, Jim, for your time today.
Lori, thank you for having me. Thank you for the insightful questions, and I really look forward to seeing you live and in person again when all of this dies down. So thank you so much for your time today.
Me as well. Thank you.